All right, today we are going to crack open the blueprint for what makes a family truly healthy. We're going to look at some expert research, sure, but also a really powerful real world story to see what makes some families not just get by, but actually thrive. So let's start with the big question, right? What are the building blocks of a genuinely happy, healthy family? Is it a family that just never has any problems? Or is it something a little deeper, something more resilient? We're going to get to the heart of what makes family life feel so fulfilling, especially when life, throws those curveballs at you. Okay, so let's get into it. Our guide for today's explainer is Dr. Lane Lassater, who's a retired clinical psychologist. Now, his work is really cool because it builds on the foundational research of another family expert, Dolores Curran. So what we're getting here is decades of real-world clinical experience combined with some really dedicated research. It's the best of both worlds. First up, we're going to look at what the experts call the blueprint for a healthy family. Think of these as the core traits, the things that show up again and again in strong, happy families. So take a look at this list. At first glance, a lot of this stuff seems pretty straightforward, right? Almost like common sense. But the real power is in how they all work together, like a system. You've got the emotional core right at the top. Love, communication, respect, trust. Then you layer on the more structural stuff, sharing responsibilities, spending time together, having shared values. And what holds it all together? Those positive traditions and rituals. So this isn't just some checklist, it's a living, interconnected framework. So what does this blueprint actually look like when you see it in the real world? Well, this quote right here, it just nails it. It's that feeling you get when you're around a family that embodies all these principles. It's the perfect way to pivot from the theory to a living, breathing example. And that brings us to our case study, the Stewart family. Their story, which Dr. Lasseter shares, is just this remarkable portrait of how all 8 of those traits can come together to create a truly exceptional family. So where does it all start? The foundation. It begins right where it should, with the parents. This maps directly back to the very first trait on our list: parents love each other. For John and Emily, their relationship isn't just strong, it's something you can see. The source material points out their daily connection, their public affection. They've kept that romance alive for 24 years. That loving partnership, that's what sets the tone for the entire family. And when you have that kind of loving tone at the top, it creates an incredible home environment. Dr. Lasseter describes their house as this peaceful hub, It's full of activity, but it's never chaotic. It's the kind of place where not only their 5 kids feel at home, but all the neighborhood kids feel welcome too. And that's a huge sign of a stable, open home where everyone feels supported. Now, this is so important. Look at how they foster individuality. This is respect and support in action. See, not every kid is a straight-A student, and in the Stewart family, that is absolutely okay. Each person is celebrated for their own unique spark, whether it's being great at acrobatics, having a beautiful voice, or just being the funny one. Everyone is valued for exactly who they are, not just what they achieve. But here's the thing. No family is without its challenges. The Stewarts faced an unimaginable hardship. And this is where the strength of that family blueprint was really put to the test. Because true family health isn't about avoiding problems, it's about how you face them together. Their son Brandon was diagnosed with leukemia, and the way they navigated this is just such a powerful lesson. Of course, they rallied around him, and this is so crucial, they didn't let the crisis completely consume the family. They kept talking, they kept listening, making sure every child still felt seen and loved. And when Brandon sadly passed away, they grieved together. They leaned on those positive family rituals they'd built to honor his memory. They faced the absolute unimaginable as a united team. They put their entire blueprint into practice when it mattered most. And check this out. Here's another layer to their strength. Faith was a huge source of comfort for them through all this. But John and Emily actually belonged to different churches. Now, for some, that could be a point of conflict. But for them, it was a source of mutual respect and peaceful acceptance. That shows such a profound level of maturity and security in their partnership, and it just reinforces that core trait of trust. So, what does this all mean for us? What's the takeaway here? Let's try to distill everything we've seen, from the expert blueprint to the powerful example of the Stewart family, into some clear, actionable ideas. If you take away just one thing from this explainer, please let it be this. A healthy family isn't a perfect family. It's not a family without problems. It's a resilient one. It's a group of people that has the tools and the love to navigate life's storms together. The Stewart story really gives us a practical model, a kind of playbook. Think of these as 4 key pillars.
First, prioritize that parental bond. It is the bedrock of the whole family's stability. Second, be intentional about creating a home environment that feels safe and welcoming to everyone. Third, make it a core family value to actively look for and celebrate what makes each person unique, not just what they accomplish. And fourth, build that muscle of unity before a crisis hits so that when challenges come, you're ready to face them as a supportive team.
And that leaves us with one final thought. Building a stronger family doesn't require some massive, grand gesture. It can be as simple as having one meal a week with no phones allowed, or starting a regular game night, or finding a new way to celebrate the small wins. So the question is, what is one small ritual you could start, maybe even this week, to strengthen your own family's blueprint?